Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to the maiden edition of the Mental Health Awareness Initiative Program. The anchor of this program is Henry Duro. You're all welcome. Today we're going to talk about autism spectrum disorder. In this program, every week we'll talk about different mental health challenges. Actually, they're mental health disorders, but in this program we'll call them challenges because we believe that if well handled, mental health challenges and people with mental health challenges can become productive members of the society. And so why some of the behaviors are called disorder, we'll call them challenges in this program. Today we'll be talking about the autism spectrum disorder. Actually, in the health field, it's called a disorder, but in this program, we'll call it a challenge. And so what does that mean? Autism spectrum disorder is a neurodevelopmental disorder, and it manifests during the developmental period of a child. Autism spectrum disorder belongs to the same family with the attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder called the ADHD. However, it's different from ADHD. Autism spectrum disorder might impair a child's ability to communicate and interact with others. These are the early features of this challenge. Autism spectrum disorder can create social, communication, and behavioral challenges for your child. These problems can be mild, they can be severe, or they can be somewhere in between. Some of the early features of autism spectrum disorder is that the child might show repetitive behaviors in some things, in interests and activities. And these issues can cause significant impairment in social, occupational, and other areas of the functioning of the child. So in today's maiden edition of the Mental Health Awareness Initiative program called My Program, we'll discuss the 3 types of autism spectrum disorder. The first is the autistic disorder, and this is what most people think of when they hear the word autism. And the second is what we call the pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified. And the acronym for this second type of autism is PDD-NOS. And the third is the Asperger's syndrome. It's also a type of autism. The first I'm going to discuss is the autistic disorder. There is nothing much to say about it. This is what most people think of when they hear the word autism. The second is the pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified. The acronym, as I said earlier, is PDD-NOS. 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 The PDD-NOS is a type of autism that adversely affects a person's development, especially in social development, cognitive development. Cognitive development means that it's going to impair the child in intelligence and language, and also affects the child in what we call the affective development, which is the child's mood, emotions. It's also going to impair the child in physical development, which is the child's motor skills ability. And the third within the spectrum is the Asperger's syndrome. The Asperger's syndrome is a type of autism that affects the child's social interaction, communication, and the child's imagination. It is also accompanied with rigid, repetitive pattern of activities. So, what about in genders? Do we have the same number of baby boys being affected with autism and the same number of girls? So, with regards to gender, autism spectrum disorder is a little bit selective because it's diagnosed 4 times more in males than in females. So, ASD can also be either genetic, physiological, or environmental. It's genetic because research shows that to a larger extent it can be hereditary. It is environmental because autism has been associated with the age of parents during when the child was born, was given birth to. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the prevalence of autism spectrum disorder around the world. I'm going to talk about 3 countries. One country in North America, which is the United States of America. One country in Australia, which is Australia, because Australia is also both a country and a continent. And one country in Asia, which is South Korea. I also have liked to talk about a country in Africa. However, I don't really have a lot of statistics about the autism spectrum disorder from any country in Africa. When I get the statistics, I'm also going to make it open and known and discuss it. So the first I'm going to talk about is autism in the United States of America. And so I got my statistics from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC. Their estimate about autism prevalence is 1 in 68 children in the United States. 1 in 68 children in the United States. And these include 1 in 42 boys and 1 in 189 girls. As far as the United States is concerned, this is the report from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. What about Australia? Let's go to Australia. The Australian Bureau of Statistics Survey of Disability, Aging and Carers, which the acronym is the SDAC, has the estimate that 164,000 Australians has autism. This represents an overall prevalence of 0.7%, or about 1 in 150 people in Australia has autism. In South Korea, the prevalence is 1 in 38 children. 1 in 38 children. I'm still going to talk about the prevalence in some other countries, especially within Africa. But for the meantime, I'm focusing on these 3 countries: the United States of America, Australia, and South Korea. So, another question that is of concern to many people is, do vaccines cause autism? Is there any kind of correlation, is there kind of causation between autism and vaccines or some kind of vaccines? Well, with most scientific evidence does not support a causal relationship or causal association between vaccines and autism. I repeat, most scientific evidence do not support a causal association between vaccines and autism. So there are a lot of research papers and they do not support, they say there is no association. So I would say is a disservice to your child to deny your child vaccine that will make him keep him alive and protect him from diseases because you're afraid it's going to cause autism. Research shows there is no association between vaccines and autism. So what do you do when you think your child is exhibiting some signs and features of autism? The first thing to do is do not panic. Do not panic. Panic comes with a lot of anxiety, so do not panic. That is why we are here, to provide you with information about autism and other mental health challenges. Do not panic. First, ask your child pediatrician or family doctor to evaluate your child and to see if what he or she is saying or sees is in tandem with what your own observation. That is a very first proactive step to take when you see some signs in your child. Like I said, do not panic. Remember that worrying solves no problem. Worrying solves no problem. Get help as soon as you notice autism symptoms in your child. The earlier, the better. The earlier, the better. The earlier you do so, the better for the baby, the better for the child, the better for this journey of this child into becoming a productive member of the society. So we are all here to help out, so to make sure your child becomes a productive member and integrates very well into the society. So if your child is younger than 3, you can contact the Early Intervention Services, the EIS program. That is if you are in the United States of America. The staff of the EIS can also evaluate your child's cognitive, learning, and language skills. If you're in the developing world of Africa or Asia, and you notice some signs in your child, I would say that I'm reminding you that is just a sign of autism. And autism is just a neurodevelopmental challenge and not a spiritual problem. Autism is not a spiritual problem. You can do all you can do for your child. You can pray for your child. He is your child. You can pray for him. If you're a Jew, you're a Muslim, you are a Christian, you are a Buddhist, you can pray for your child. There is room for spirituality in mental health awareness initiative, but there is no room for abuse of the child. There is no room for abuse of the child. If your child exhibits any of the signs, there is no room to abuse the child or to take your child to spiritual healers who will abuse the child. It's okay if they pray for him, but what steps are you going to take? Do not tag your child a witch. Do not tag your child a witch. He or she is not a witch. If you're a member of a public and you go around and you see other children exhibiting such behaviors that you think that they are in line with the features of autism, do not tag them witches and wizards. You'll be doing a very great disservice to the population, to the autistic population, or children who are living with autism if you tag them witches and wizards. It's a very big disservice, or to your child, or taking your child to a spiritual healer. Do not abuse the child. The child is already facing a very hectic challenge. Do not abuse the child. Do not call the child names. So what do you do? When a child shows signs, it is best to take him or her to either a child psychologist, child psychiatrist, child neurologist, or a developmental behavioral pediatrician. This is the best step to helping your child in this journey. Remember, you will be the best teacher your child will have in this journey. Always be there for him or her. There are great inventors, great scientists who showed signs of autism and they ended up well. You will be your child's best teacher. So be there for him or her. That's the end of today's program. Next week we'll have another program that will deal with another mental health challenge. Until then, I say, have a blissful week. Thank you.